Hello guys and gals, and welcome back to another episode of Creepypastas. Yes, Creepypastas. Not a gaming related story this time. It's obviously a non-gaming related story, but if you're new, basically this is December 2013 Creepypasta of the month. If you don't know what that is, every month on the Some Ordinary Gamers wiki, where you go to post creepypastas if you want to submit them, and over there every month there's a voting process that goes on, and democracy entails that these creepypastas be read. So this is me reading these creepypastas that are picked. Now some of these are gaming related, some of these are non-gaming related. This one is called Trichotillomania, but this is a creepypasta that is 1 December 2013, and it's actually well loved. It's very descriptive. So with that being said, let's go into this non-gaming December 2013 creepypasta of the month called Trichotillomania. Grab, rip, chew, throw, repeat. A never-ending pattern. It is impossible to escape. As constant as my heartbeat, it acts without fail. This is my disorder, my figurative prison. I'm trapped inside of my own head, my hands busy weaving my stress among the yarn made specifically from the hair lining my scalp. I have no control. The conductor of the symphony is hiding behind the curtains of an imaginary safety net. Reality is cruel, eating away my safest place and replacing every fiber with the harshness life provides to every man and child on this planet. As it works, it snowballs, capturing me. It feeds me knowledge that I can no longer ignore. The world is not perfect. Wheels turn faster, whistles blow louder, and my mental locomotive derails. With life I find faults, and with faults I find blame. I do not leave this wrath on others. I sit in the convicted chair of my own court. The conductor is my judge and jury. Gavel strikes a pad, and punishment is integrated into my very being. My curse is to live with this demonic melody. Grab, rip, chew, throw, repeat. Grab. My mind rivals race cars when faults are at the finish line. The engines of my conductor revs. Adrenaline fuels the ride. I brace myself as my hands extend skyward, stopping at my skull. The victims are decided merely by chance, being held hostage between my bony fingers. Rip. With the slightest flick of my wrist, I uproot the innocent victims of my massacre. I hear their screams for a millisecond, making me wince. Guilt does not bring back the dead, though, and so they stay silent and limp. Their lives, like breathing on an average day, are nothing but forgotten. Chew. Their corpses run through my teeth with absolute ease, and with each run through the conductor's boredom increases. Even after tying knots, the conductor isn't satisfied. Throw. All murders lead to removing evidence. With a flick, the innocent victims spiral down towards the ground so far below. They possess no weight, so no one hears a thud when they finally hit the ground. Their existence no longer has meaning. Repeat. As if a greedy landowner, each pull uproots a brown forest. As it cycles, it grows worse. Patches pop up. The land that is my scalp grows bare. Hiding my destruction becomes difficult. With each new empty spot appearing, the anger mounts. Every plea I make means nothing. All my attempts are fruitless. With every failure, there is a consequence. The stress I cause feeds the conductor, and the pattern speeds up at an alarming rate. As my curse continued, it became evident. The shouts and threats they gift me do not help. Each threat adds salt to the wounds of my stupendous amounts of guilt. Each shout adds tears to my face. Each of everything is a great meal for the conductor. My curse plays laments and dirges at a steady rate. With every note played on the symphony's violins and cellos, a victim loses a life. The endless stream of screams and pain agonizes me, shattering me like glass. The bodies of all those I have wronged fly through the air, littering the ground. People walk all over them, showing no concern to the lives that were lost due to my curse. They cannot feel the guilt and pain I feel. They cannot hear the screams the innocent make as I pluck their very lives away from them. They feel nothing that I feel. They don't understand. As all of my being is thrown into this cycle of never-ending death and guilt, I gain a fear that I have never known of before. I flinch and squirm away from the conductor, my torture, and try to ignore the happenings of reality. I tell myself that this isn't real. It's not real. This is not real. In a last resort, I trap myself in a world of my own creation, a world where everything is happy. The conductor still reaches through to me, though. My loss of sanity starts to change me into a nervous wreck. Distress and loneliness conquer all other emotions, burrowing itself into my core. Everything blanks. I curl up. I have things to do, but no motivation. I have friends, but feel ignored. I have family, but feel controlled. Slipping away into depression, I get distracted from my curse. Nonetheless, it keeps going. The conductor still is not satisfied. Locked into my stone-like state, I blindly search for a key. With every second tension grows, cocooning me with self-loathing and impeding my progress. I shake it off the best I can and move forward, becoming more frantic and scared. In my pitiful effort, I feel something different. A key. A key is merely a short relief, a 5-minute break in a 24/7 job. Exhausted and broken, I greedily take it. My mind becomes a one-way street towards a cure in a weak attempt to give myself hope. However, it is a dead end. I have no cure for my curse. With a cry of desperation, I fall onto my knees. Any hope I've gained in my attempt evaporates, joining all the hope I had misplaced previously. As I hug my knees and cry, the conductor partakes in a hearty laugh. I am pitiful. I am a pitiful sight. Something of interest to the conductor. With a sense of victory, the conductor loosens its grip ever so slightly. Snapping back from the brink of utter insanity, I lunge the conductor and try to suppress it. With overwhelming strength, it rears back at me, knocking me back in surprise. Shaking and defeated, I watch as the conductor consumes my fear and pain, growing bigger and more vicious. With a snarl, it leaps into the air. Instead of finishing me off, it prepares for the final move. Nothing. I open my eyes to an unusual stillness and peace. My curse is slowed almost to a halt, but still remains in motion. With a sigh of relief, I rest. As I enjoy my freedom, the conductor works backstage. It gains power and works up itself, preparing for retaliation. With rebellion in mind, it prepares to strike. The conductor can't be destroyed. It's invincible. A force that relentlessly chases me down as a form of amusement. I will not stop until I, like a mountain, climbed and conquered. It does not know defeat. The conductor is Trichotillomania. So, before we conclude, this was December 2013's Creepypasta of the Month. Yeah, I'm a little late on these, well, a lot, but I want to ask before we begin, do you think it should have won? Did you like it, or did you not? I will say it's one of the more articulate creepypastas so far. Now, for those who don't know what Trichotillomania is, which I've mispronounced most likely, and if I have, I apologize, but it is a mental disorder that, to briefly describe it, is the irresistible urge to pull out hair from the scalp and eyebrows, as well as other areas, and as you can guess, it leads to bald spots, and I would assume it's very painful. Now, this can vary in people, to some degree. Some can deal with it better than others, and some really can. Now, on a personal note, the author who wrote this actually claims to suffer from this and states that it's literally running their life into the ground. So let's all hope for the best. But moving on, let's see how good this creepypasta is. Well, for one, it's pretty nerve-wracking, actually. I mean, this is literally, in a sense, hell, kind of. Pulling hair and getting this urge to do something so immensely painful and scarring. And the referencing to the murdering of people, the cannibalism, loss of sanity, it definitely does set the tone, and it relates to, how chilling this can really be. I mean, when you have those kind of comparisons that, when you read them, they work well hand in hand. Now, at first even, sounds like some plans of some sick, twisted fuck to hide and feast on the dead, and how exciting the pursuit of a kill can be, even though from the beginning we all know it's about ripping the hair on your scalp, so it's not really a mindfuckish thing kind of then. In a way it is when you find out at the end, the illness's name, but, now, what makes it eerie, really, again, like I said, is the imagery and the description, and this is important for any creepypasta, really, in fact, any tale in general. Now, this is a tale that doesn't really have a, story in a sense, but rather a morbid representation of someone's reality rather than a traditional story with a plot in a sense. We've done these before, and they've generally been interesting, but this one really clicks in as you're not only interested, but you're also scared, of what's going to happen next, and then you realize that, this is really real, and unfortunately, some people have to deal with such an affliction. Now, in the end, I really thought this was interesting. It was creepy, and I learned something new. I will say I prefer traditional story-based stuff, like things like Russian Sleep Experiment and Funny Mouth, but then again, this is a whole broad category, and everyone's opinions are different, and this is why we have a democratic process in this entire thing. I don't know, the story stuff gives me a classic campfire feel, but really, this has the imagery to unsettle, and that's ultimately what I look for, and I think what anyone really looks for. In the end, what would you rate it and what would you change to make it better? Let's all give a hand for December 2013's Creepypasta of the Month. This has been another episode of Creepypastas, and if you like what you saw, then like, comment, and subscribe. By the way, if you're all wondering what game I'm playing, this is Mark of the Ninja. It is a game that's available on the Xbox 360 and the PC, and other platforms, I believe, but yeah. This game is a stealth action side-scroller where you play as a ninja. Obviously pretty self-explanatory and plays pretty smoothly, so yeah. it's a good game, and if you ever wonder what game I'm playing on the screen, I'll put it in the beginning of the video, key it in, I'll put it in the description, and sometimes I'll give it a mention at the end. So yeah, this is me, Mudahar, and I am out.